you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. This is the podcast you've been waiting for. Hi, I'm Krystle, 1-3 Sacral Generator. I'm a rising Capricorn, Sagittarius Sun, and an Aries Moon.
And I'm Leah. I am a 2-4 splenic projector, Aquarius Sun, Taurus Moon, and Libra rising.
Yay. Hello, we're back. It's so weird. It's like I'm still not used to this new format. If you guys don't know, we have switched to bi-weekly episodes for the program. We do other episodes, which actually we have a few things in line. Oh, the thing that I was telling you about with the other potential person, it's happening. I forget. Nice. That was the thing that I meant. I was like, there was something I was going to tell you, and then that was it. Awesome. We'll talk about that later, but it just hit me. And I was like, let me tell you. So yeah, we have some fun new episodes coming out that are not programs. This episode, if you're tuning in, is called The Program. These are our bi-weekly transit energy updates where we travel together through human design, astrology, and tarot. So if you are new here, welcome. This podcast is for a bunch of weirdos. Everybody that hears that loves it because they're like, I'm a weirdo. The truth is, let's be real. We're all weird. What is normal? I don't know. I've never been there. Like, is it like being like vanilla? Like
it's
a basic,
not jazzy.
maybe, yeah, not jazzy. Maybe like a basic bitch, but I am also a little bit of a basic bitch. I do like the basic bitch things. I'm already like looking forward to like, fall and everything pumpkin. I know we're just moving into summer, but fall's my favorite time of year. I don't know about you.
I do love a good pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably people out there that do it all times of year, but personally, I like to save it for that time of year. Like every once in a while, if somebody's like, I have a really good pumpkin spice latte and it's not fall, I would try it.
Yeah.
But I like to I think with having, the channel of rhythm and the 15, which is really like geared towards that, which is actually coming in during this program, which we will discuss. But I like to kind of like do things seasonally. And so I have like right now, I guess I really love, a nice juicy watermelon in the summer, like the best, like where it's just super, super ripe and just full.
I think like it's because we need to like be hydrated is part of it, but also it's like because they're ripe and they're ready and they're just when it's hot,
it's that time of year.
It's just so satisfying to like just take a nice bite of a juice. Like your mouth waters just hearing about it.
Yeah, everyone's like, okay, I'm gonna go pick up some watermelon after this. We just sold it to you. Our channel entrepreneur just sold you guys some watermelon.
Have you ever had it with tahini on it sprinkled on top?
No.
It's like a spice, like a chili lime spice. Oh my gosh, it is so good.
No, I mean, I feel like I've had maybe like something like that, like a watermelon margarita. Those are really good too. Oh, I gotta find a watermelon margarita this summer. Yeah. Also, watermelon and mint.
Oh yeah.
I actually found this one sparkling water. You know how they like there's every time I go to Target, there's a new sparkling water brand.
The bubbly makes it, don't they?
Which one? Bubbly? Watermelon mint?
Yeah, is it bubbly that makes it though? The company?
That's not the one that I found. I found a really good one. I'll share it with you not on here because I don't have it with me. I actually need to go get more, but it was it was really, really good. I haven't tried the bubbly one, but this one, I don't know if I honestly want to go to a different one because it was really good.
Mm.
But anyways, aside from talking about, we like to bring it to food, or
Tangent.
I like to always bring it to food.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are new here, I want to let you know why we call this the program, because some people are like, oh, that's interesting. Like that's an interesting name. It's because we live in the fucking program. Okay. This is every week we travel through almost like a new episode for the week, because this is a giant movie, a giant TV show that we live in. This is just an assimilation. Okay. So the planets activate not only astrology, but also the gates in human design. And each week we enter into what I like to call a new episode. Might be a thriller, a drama, a comedy, a dramedy. I feel like this week for me, we're in the past, guys. This week for me has been a little bit of a drama, which we've had transitoriness in, which always destroys me. On top of, I'm also in my core wound emotional wave, uh, which I think it's next month they finally get out. I don't know. I'm like, when am I ever getting out? But it's only because we're going retrograde, so it's going to come back again to this point in time again, and I'm like, great. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, you get to kind of like understand in these episodes on a deeper level the fullness, not just the storyline that astrology explains, because human design actually pinpoints. What I love about human design is it will pinpoint like specific details on how these almost like placements are truly being expressed. And so that's what we're going to travel through for the next 2 weeks. And I will definitely call out dates. There's also timeline stamps in the description down below if you want to know what week we're talking about. We're trying to make this as easy and simple for you. And that's what the Human Design and Astro Club is here to do. We're here to simplify your life. That's what we do. That's it. If that's all we said, like, that's all you really need to know. We are here to simplify your life through the energy of human design, astrology, and tarot. That's what we do in the cosmic community. I'm super excited for the next 2 weeks to be diving into these placements in the cosmic community, because there's a lot happening. And I know the cosmic community, like we talked about it in our monthly forecast, but we always go into more detail, and then obviously then we enter into these experiences together, right? So then it's almost like then it turns into a different story, because then you're in the experience of it. So that's the basics. So mostly what we talk about are the sun and earth gates, because those are the programs that are traveling in for about a week. And so we pinpoint those, and then I throw out other important details in regards to astrology when it feels important. And then Leah pulls cards at the end that kind of brings everything all together. It always comes full circle. And so that's what we're here to do. And yeah, so how are you doing? I want to stop talking for a second.
I'm doing good. I'm still like battling this shoulder situation. It's still sore. I don't know. So I wanted to ask you this question. I feel like I don't know if other people would like to know this answer or not, but like, is there a way other than like calling my doctor to be like, I need to be on antibiotics again, to like identify if there's still an infection happening there, like energetically? Like, how do
feel
I do
that?
that for myself? Yeah.
You still feel like there's an infection and not just soreness.
Yeah.
If
But I feel like a pain in the ass calling over there and being like, I need to get this fixed. But I was just curious because like when I did my candle ritual a few weeks ago, it like went out. It was like, no, you can't do this now. I need to do it again because I haven't had time to like relight it and do that ritual again. But I was just curious, like if someone were to be like, how do I settle into my body and like I know people do like Reiki or like energy
Mhm.
work or stuff like that, but how do I do that for like myself, like a meditation or like,
Yeah, I would say meditation. I would do meditation, pulling some cards. Even if you
yeah,
did another candle thing and it didn't fully go, that would be an indication. But at the same time,
yeah.
why not just call your
Yeah, I
doctor
know.
again?
No,
Like,
I'm going to. I think it's just like, I'm just curious, like how, because the candle thing did that, like how do I just
maybe
see
you
it and
need some like
visualize everything?
herbs or something. Like maybe
Yeah.
like some dietary
Yeah.
shifts might need to happen also
Start
to kind
start
of
chugging oregano.
I don't know if oregano oil is
And
going to
just
do
so
that.
everybody knows, like I'm not
Everything.
ignoring my body. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna call. I was just curious,
Yeah.
like
I
what that
mean, are you
seems
even
like.
like a pendulum? If I don't know if you have a
I
pendulum,
do actually, yeah.
I would maybe use that mixed with the tarot and a meditation. But I mean, they're not going to be able to clear it for you if it's
No,
an infection.
yeah. So I'm just like, so then from there, I think I'm at like a better place in my head than I was before a surgery,
Yeah.
where I was like so worried. I was so caught up worrying about like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to tell my cleaning clients? Like I'm going to have to push them off further. And I was so worried about that. But I think it was because it was like, this is going to happen and you're going to have to slow down. Like you're not going to be
Yeah.
ready. It was kind of like not premonition, but it was already like, you have to slow down. Like you can't just push through everything. And I was very caught up worrying about that in my defined head. And so I think it's kind of like confirmation. And not like I was predicting like I was going to get an infection, but it was just like you need to still be slower, like still take your
Yeah.
time. And
Maybe
I
he
think
just
that,
didn't give you a strong, because you said that it gave you a mild one, right?
yeah, and it was only a week. And I think I
Mm.
needed longer than that. So, yeah.
How do you, what is the feeling that's telling you it's still infected? Like it looks infected or it feels infected or like what are the signs?
I think my spleen is still like telling me stop. It's like
Well,
don't do that for certain things that I've been doing,
well,
or
yeah.
and then also just like the pain isn't normal, and like I get a feeling from like my physical therapist too. She's like, well, like the little hesitation, like if you keep an eye on it,
Mhm.
like make sure that you listen to your body, and if this seems like you're still feeling this way,
Yeah.
then to call
Probably
them.
do need another round. I mean, he probably
Yeah,
should, he should have just like, I know it's like you don't want to take all these antibiotics.
right.
Um, but, and also make sure you're taking probiotics.
I'm still
Yeah.
taking probiotics, yeah. So like that part I knew about and I was prepared for that because I've done antibiotics before. So it was like I already knew I was going to mess things up, but um yeah. And I'm not like anti medical support either. I just
Yeah.
definitely was like
I
curious,
think,
like spiritually, how someone were to be like, this, or how do I guess I just need to tap back into myself and be like,
well,
okay, what do you need right
that's the
now?
biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can use, I mean, you could use support of your tarot, your
Hmm.
pendulum, and I'm sure they're going to tell you the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I was just curious because
maybe you just need that as the courage to just like speak your
yeah,
truth.
yeah.
It,
My undefined solar plexus is like, you're just being a pain in the butt. Like, stop calling
no,
over to the,
no, don't
but it's
avoid
not.
your truth and
Yeah.
don't avoid confrontation. Like, what? I mean,
And it's not, yeah, it's not
it's
even
not
really
really
confrontation.
confrontation.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it from that place. It's like I am also someone I do not like making those types of phone calls or even like appointments or how like
Mhm.
I prefer to not have to talk to people. Like
Yeah.
I love that we can make appointments now for certain things online or order things online without
Right.
talking to a single person. Because as much as people are like, you do not shut the fuck up. I actually do not talk a lot when I'm not doing like businessy things. Like when I'm out in my like physical environment, I am super quiet.
Hmm.
People are always like, do you speak? Because I'm an open throat and right body.
Yeah.
So I'm always just kind of like watching. And I need to also a lot of times be invited to share things as an
Hmm.
open throat. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
I prefer just to be in my space by myself.
Yeah. It's always like, I don't want to be a bother, but it's never really a
Yeah.
bother. It's more of a bother for yourself because you're ignoring what needs to happen,
Yes.
So,
I feel that way with something that I need to do that we just talked about that I'm probably going to do right after this and just like
mhm.
rip the fucking band-aid off. Because I also want to avoid my truth. I have an open solar plexus, so I've got
Yeah.
no little buffer. I got nothing. I'm just like, I feel like my basement is flooded right now.
Yeah.
And I got to take the buckets and I'm like scooping it out and the water just keeps pouring in. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, but thank the heavens and above that we're finally out of transitoriness for a
hmm
moment, at least. Um,
Yeah. Use it
like,
while you can.
just like, well, I'm still on the other emotional wave, but I felt like I was drowning
hmm
this last week with both
hmm
of them happening at the same time. Because for me, those are the two hardest waves is transitoriness and then the channel of community, because my
Yeah.
hanging 40 is my core wound. So, and then we got another hard placement because Saturn is in gate 37 right now. So it's like, fuck.
Mm.
And my unconscious Mars mixed with Saturn, like, fuck. And speaking of Saturn, Saturn's about to go retrograde, guys. We'll talk about that in just a few. There's a lot of retrograde. Just so everybody knows, if you're like new to like transits and all that stuff, most retrogrades happen other than Mercury during the summer. If you notice during the summer, a lot of us are starting to slow down. We're kind of like, kids are out of school. Like you don't have to like take so much action. And so that's when a lot of the retrogrades actually come in. And so we've got some coming up. And we'll discuss that in a moment. I'm like kind of not looking forward to one of them because and like also the one that just happened because I'm like, we finally were moving towards things,
hmm hmm
and I don't want to look back right now. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. Really?
but yeah, so I also have to do something hard that I want to avoid as well. But I've noticed for myself with being a generator, especially like generators, please, if you're listening, I know a lot of you are because most of you are generators out there. Please listen up. Stop. If you're driving your car, you're talking to your kid, you're making your dinner, I want you to pause for a second and just listen to what I'm about to say. We have to start saying no more. What I've learned, okay, and also I want to, if you don't know, I've been in my experiment for over 6 years now. uh I still feel, 6 years, you're still green. You're still green, but I'm almost out of the 7-year cycle, right? So I do understand the Kabbalah tree of life on a very deep level from working with at the Kabbalah Center. And so something that I've learned in the last 6 years, and especially the last, I'd probably say 3 years, it takes about 3 years into your deconditioning that you're like, well, I guess I have to fucking do this shit. Uh, you know?
hmm
um, and so 3 years after that, which I'm in now, the 6 years, I have been saying so many no's. Every time I say no, the universe is like, oh, she wants the good stuff.
hmm
She's not settling for anything because we're constantly getting things thrown at us or people trying to plug into us or like opportunities that aren't actually aligned. Like we're here to grow and evolve. So the more that you say no, generators, the more things come into actual flow. Because then all of a sudden, all the things that you actually want and desire come in. So I'm ready to say no because I know when I say no to this today, something's going to come in its place. I know
hmm
this. It's that saying, once you close one door, another door opens. Generators, you have to fucking do that. I know it's hard. I'm gonna have so
Yeah.
much anxiety doing this when I do it, but I'm gonna feel so much better when it's done.
Yeah.
And then I know the next big thing's gonna come to me after this.
Yeah. Because it's not always like responding isn't just like, yes, let's say yes to all the things, especially for like undefined hearts,
Oh
open or
yeah.
undefined hearts, which is a majority of people too. Like you still don't have to say yes to
Yeah,
everything.
because a lot of times you don't even know what you want to say yes to.
Right.
An open, undefined heart. Like, yes, maybe now, but ask me again tomorrow. It might
Hmm.
be a different answer. And that's okay.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
nothing, and I know that we're defined hearts. We're not here, we're not bashing you. There
No.
is absolutely nothing wrong with being where you are open. I also want to make that very clear. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong. It just means you're not here to hold it. You don't have to actually hold it.
Right.
You're just, it's fluid.
Hmm.
Wherever you are white in your human design chart, you are just fluid. Those are your biggest learning centers.
Yeah.
And if you're open in, the heart, you're here to learn about self-worth and commitment back to self.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that will change a lot for you.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, this is a hard no.
Yeah. I feel like it kind of teaches us too, as defined, like the defined centers a lot too, because like I'm defined in a lot of places where you are not. So I learn a lot from how I come across or the things that I
Yeah.
say. And I often am finding myself now pausing and thinking, how do I word this? So like I don't
Oh, yeah.
insert my doubt into somebody else. How do
Mm,
I word this so that I don't make somebody else worry about this one thing or open up the can of worms that didn't need to be open just because I'm thinking about the one thing doesn't
yeah.
mean everybody else is. So I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest lesson for me is like my definition can really make a difference to somebody else who is undefined in those
Yeah. And you're
places.
also a fourth line, which is here to influence,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, you do. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a few times where you'll tell me something before I really need to know. And then my open
You're
headed
like, ah,
Savage are like, ah,
I have
oh my
600
God.
questions now. Like I
I'm
didn't need to
like, where
worry
does
about
the
this. I'm
fire
like,
extinguisher?
yeah. I'm like, dang, like sometimes I'll say stuff and not even just to you, it's like to other people. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have even said anything. But then it's
Mhm.
also like,
Maybe
but
not.
should I have though? Because then there are certain things that do allow us to have the conversation about
Yeah.
stuff that I was holding on to. But there are other times where it's like, I could have figured that out by myself. Like I didn't need
Yeah.
to like
So I guess
put
it's
that on
that
anyone.
it's that pause
Yeah,
that we all need to have. That
for
would
sure.
I'm totally blanking on the exact name of this, and I can go look it up. And actually, it's something that I want to talk about. I haven't decided when I'm going to do this live for the cosmic community because we're going to be talking about in depth the Kabbalah tree of life and the 10 emanations. And
Mhm.
so in Kabbalah, they one thing that you learn when you take Kabbalah one, and I'm forgetting the name, but it's a whole sequence of allowing yourself to pause, to wait before you actually take action or do, which is so funny because the majority of the people out there are supposed to wait. The only people that aren't supposed to wait, and even then they are supposed to wait for the urge to come through, are manifestors.
Yeah.
But the rest of us really need to wait.
Hmm.
Now, as I said, manifestors still need to wait in their own way. But once they're activated, they can just take off.
Right.
Once we get like a desire, like for example, for myself as a generator, like a lot of times it'll start out as like a little seed up here in my mind and be like, oh, like that sounds like fun. But just because something sounds like fun, there's nothing happened. Like,
Yeah.
generators are very yin and physical beings, right? We're rhythmic beings, and it's really about timing. So you have to let that little desire, and even to know, like, is it my desire? Sometimes if it pops in, it could be somebody else's desire. You don't fully
Mhm.
know until it actually shows up in your physical environment. So every time I get a new desire or just a little thought or whatever, and I don't know exactly what it is because I have nothing to respond to yet, I have to wait. And if it's something that I truly feel the desire and like I feel the pull towards, then I know it's going to show up in the right time for me to respond to. The thing is with generators is we just, like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. I'm gonna go make that happen right now. And then like you're initiating all these things and like you're like, why isn't anything happening right? And it's because, bitch, take a fucking seat and slow your fucking roll. I know you have all the energy in the world to do. And that's the whole, we got to have a little friction and contradiction in our chart.
Yeah.
Um, because we can't just get everything all the time. It's just not, that's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Who was it? I think it was Jenna, wasn't it? Jenna that did the picture, the sacred pause. Yeah, Jenna made a picture. I think she had shared it. I don't know if it's on her page or if it was in our group, but she had a couple different like artistic images that she had made that was the sacred pause.
Oh, yeah.
She was talking about, and it was like, I think it had to do with that conversation we were just having, like allowing yourself to pause instead of jumping straight into that thing. Like that's what this is all about, is waiting, we all have to wait in some capacity. So that's what it just made me think of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that when people are like, well, manifestors don't have to wait. They do. They have to wait in their rest cycles. If they're in if a manifestor is in a rest cycle, they're not going. And if a manifestor pushes themselves to do in a rest cycle, they will probably get sick in some sort of capacity.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a lot of manifestors. Surprisingly, that's actually the most readings I've done in my human design career has been with manifestors. I don't know if it's because the only thing that I can think of why manifestors come to me so often is because I have a completely open throat. And so I truly see them like on a deep, it's so interesting to me now knowing all of my pieces, and I'm sure for yourself too, like looking outwards and being like, wow, especially, I mean, with you being a projector, like, you're a small percentage with being an open throat. That's a small percentage. The majority of the population are actually defined throats. I think now I'm forgetting the exact number, but it's like, I think it's like 70% or something really high for defined throats. Don't quote me on that because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Nobody quote me and come for me and say that's not the right percentage because I can't remember. There's too many to remember right now, and I have a lot of thoughts in my head. But the majority, either way, now Leah's looking it up, of course.
I'm looking, but keep going.
The majority are defined throats. So my whole life, I've looked out at the world and wondering, why does nobody see each other? Like, why is everybody like so fucking tone deaf? I'm over here, like, I see you for everything that you are, all the way you show up and express yourself and your truth and your inner voice. Like, and I'm really good at listening to people and really like holding, like, I hold everything people say. People like, do you remember what I said? Everything's there. I know exactly what you said. And but I never got the same in return, you know? And so that was always confusing for me. I'm like, well, why am I so different? You know? And that's what I love about human design is it shows you where you are different. And even though maybe you might feel like alone a little bit in that space, whatever it is of what makes you different, because that's what, like, when I found out I was a generator, a 1-3 sacral generator, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just another fucking basic bitch. Like, I got nothing special until, I started taking a deep dive, did all the classes, courses, got a million readings done. I was like, oh, maybe I am special. So are you. Okay.
Yes.
You are special too in your own way. Even if you're just like another basic bitch like me and you're just a generator and you're like, I'm not a special unicorn. I'm not, I'm not a reflector or, I'm not a manifester, whatever. I was the only person that was excited that I thought I was a projector. Every other projector, like the real projectors are like, I cried for 5 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I was a projector because I have an open throat. That's why I have to be invited to share. And I'm like, nobody sees me, like, cause it's all about recognition.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, I'm a little bit, and I know all the projectors roll their eyes when I say this, but I'm like the undercover projector. That's what I think open throats are.
Yeah.
Because uh, I see everybody for exactly who they are. Maybe my aura is not like focused and absorbing like yours is. Like I see, it was so funny, and I think I told you this when I did the expo with all the speed readings that I did.
Yep.
I always knew before I looked at someone's chart when I pulled up their chart that they were a projector with the moment they sat in my chair because they would lock. They would lock in on me. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would point it out to them when we were going through their chart. I'll be like, when I would talk about that their aura is focused and absorbing, I was like, I want you to just, I know that it's hard because you guys cannot observe yourselves, right? But I'm going to tell you, you're locked into me right now. And then they start laughing because they're like, oh yeah, that I'm like, that's what you do. You lock
Mm-hmm.
in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why one-on-ones for projectors are really good because you're able to just like, try on their skin. That's what I say projectors do. You try on
Yeah.
people's skin.
Yeah.
Like I always know when a projector's around because like I'm like, they're inside of me right now.
They're trying me on. What's happening?
It's a
Oh,
little
that's funny.
creepy, but
Yeah.
it's also like it's nice to be seen. Hi friends, Krystle here. New year and new you, and boy, do we have some new tools for you to help you transform your life into the one you have always dreamed of. We have some new ways for you to connect with us outside of the show. So we have a free guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. We also have a language manual to your true self to help you understand the key terms in human design and how to apply them to reading your human design chart and also to your life. And we are so happy to announce doors are now open for the Cosmic Community, which is a no commitment or 5-month commitment package to connecting with us over in our private Facebook group. You will have the chance to connect with Leah and myself each month with our premium episodes through our Program Plus monthly forecast. There's also weekly aura energy updates, weekly tarot card pulls connected to a human design gate, monthly market shares for fellow entrepreneurs to share their work, and exclusive bonus content you will not be getting anywhere else from us. Come join the Cosmic Community to understand how to utilize the transits to your advantage and have a safe space to learn, grow, and connect. And we also have our children's class called Nurture Your Child Through Their Design. And our most popular classes are our variable mini classes, which are bite-sized, self-paced audios and guidebooks on the first 2 transformations. And if you want to stay connected with some education and love from us, join our email list and check out our website, which you can find that and every offer I just discussed down below in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you over on our next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we did. I'm like, which type have we? Everyone's like, can you tell me more about my type?
Right.
Get a reading.
You were right. You were very close. It was 72% defined throats.
Oh,
You weren't
yeah.
far
I
off.
do have them pretty locked in
Yeah.
my it's stored in my,
Mhm.
left brain and mind. It's hard to take it out. People are like, how do you know all this stuff? I don't know. It just gets stuck there. That's
Yeah.
how I know it's correct.
Well,
Like
and you
math.
see it, like you see it out in the world too. It's like this whole movie is playing out in front of you too. So you're like, oh, okay, this is where that makes sense over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. When I get to visually see it and then I read about it
Hmm.
and then experience it, it's absorbed. And that's how I know it's correct because like for example, I was just saying math for me, whoop, just like I don't have a
Yeah.
calculator. Don't ask me to do large math in my head. I will not be able to do it. I hated math. I never paid attention in class. I actually ended up needing a tutor, like, I think it was like 10th grade or something, because like I could not focus in class because I was bored because
Yeah.
I'm a generator and I had no joy or desire to learn anything about this. It's just not, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. So, so yeah. So, that's what we wanted to chat about. And I think maybe it's time to dive into
Sure.
this week because there's a lot there for the next 2 weeks. So I will call out dates and days. So please pay attention to that. Leah will put a little in there for when we move on to the next week, just so you guys know. So let's go ahead and dive in. So we kick off the week at the end of an old program from this past week with the focus on our voice. We can't escape it, but we actually are. We're going to move on. Not yet, but we will. You'll know when we get there. So anyways, so this is a focus on our voice. As you have noticed, a lot of the recent programs have all pertained to the throat and using our voice. And in this instance, it's all about directing the resources. So maybe this is something you've been doing for this last week. This last week was a great week to sell if you're a business owner, and a good time to share. So if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur, this would be a time, or this would be a time to finish up with that, because this is the last moment of it, to let people know what you got cooking. Okay. What are your offers? What products do you sell? And where can people find them? Most importantly, because that's what this is. You're directing people to your goods. Okay. And then also a great time to share your knowledge and resources. And what's grounding you and supporting you with all of this is going to be your heart. And really having integrity with what you are selling and knowing the right way to say it and share it. So if this is something you didn't do and you're listening to this on Monday, this might be a great time to, just put yourself out there. You never know. So then on Tuesday, we enter into, let me read the date. We start off, I didn't tell what week we are starting off. This is the week of the 12th. Okay. We are in the week of the 12th. So let's move over to Tuesday on the 13th. We enter into a new program, and guess where this one is? This one is, yep, you guessed it, the throat. Okay. So it's all pertaining to our voice. And this particular focus is on our openness or not to share how we are actually feeling. That's what this energy wants to do. So, and pay attention, because this is going to impact the new moon. Okay. So this all pertains to your mood. So with this focus, watch with the way you are expressing yourself, and what will support you with how to do that is going to be your mind and your ideas. You want to be able to express your ideas, right? So what stories do you have up there in your noggin that it's time to share? Might be a good week to write out some content. Okay. If you're an entrepreneur, or maybe if you're not, or even if you are, rework your personal story. Okay. And be open to the right people or your audience to know when it's time to speak. That's what this week is going to do. So let's jump to Saturday, the 17th. This day I'm not quite looking forward to, but I shouldn't tell you guys my personal feelings. But so Saturn's going to go retrograde on the 17th till fucking November. Okay. So Leah's like, what? That's why if it was Mercury, I never really care. Some people freak out about Mercury, but I care a little less, because it's like, like a month, that you're dealing with Mercury, but not with Saturn, because it's slower. Okay. A slower moving planet. We're going to be in a slower moving situation. Okay. So let's talk about what this is going to pertain. Listen up. It's going to be important. Okay. So some old lessons might resurface during this time. I feel like I'm already integrating this for you guys. And it will be important to examine our roles. Okay. And also our restrictions. Okay. And what feels like our limitations. Because that Saturn is really like earth-based focused. Okay. So if you remember back, and this is why I'm nervous. Okay. I'm going to just let you guys, you don't have to hold on to what I'm saying, but I am here to look at patterns So I want to tell you guys this, and we will 100% discuss this in the cosmic community. So all the cosmic community members are like, what? So if you remember back to March 2020, that was the last time we had this experience. Do you remember what happened? March 2020. Okay. You see why I'm a little nervous. So be prepared. Just, and it's slow moving, so you might not feel it right away. And so it depends on, I'll tell you something. Go look to see where you have Saturn and Pisces in your chart. Okay. Because those are the places that are going to be impacted for you on a personal level. So we'll dive more into this, like I said, in the cosmic community on this topic. You might be feeling during this time that you are fulfilling some sort of karmic debt. That's what's going to happen. So, that means potentially a little bit of a shitstorm. I can't sugarcoat this for you guys. You guys know I don't do that. I'm going to tell you how it is, and everyone's going to have a different experience personally. So just know that maybe you might not be super impacted, but if you have Saturn in Pisces, then you might. Okay. Or if maybe you have Saturn in the first house, you're going to feel that a little heavier, right? So this retrograde will be about an examination of our spirituality. Pretty big deal. And truly what we believe in. I know we talked about this in the yearly forecast, so highly recommend if you picked that up when we put that out to go listen to this part, because now we're in it. And also, if you are in the cosmic community, go listen to the monthly forecast where we discuss this, and we will do obviously a deep dive on this, because this is going to shift our lives in a big way. I feel like that's when I was writing this out, that's the feeling that came to me when I was writing this, and also every time I wrote about it in the past. So, the thing is there's nothing to fear. Okay. You can be I'm a little nervous because of the patterns that I see with this. And collectively, especially, because we're going through a spiritual upgrade right now. Right. So we got to go backwards for a moment. And it might be a little hard, but if you have awareness around yourself and what is happening in the collective, and having tools to support you, you'll be okay. Okay. So let's move on. We got a lot to discuss. So we're moving on to the 18th. Okay. So this might feel a little better. I like Gemini. Gemini is the other side of me. I'm a Sagittarius, So we're going into new moon Gemini on the 18th. And as you know, new moons are all about new beginnings and starting new cycles. So this is going to be a time to plant your future seeds. And with Gemini being, a mutable air sign, and this activation taking place in the throat, you will be asked to express your deepest desires, but watch where others might be projecting on you on this day. Okay. And also your storyline, or maybe as Gemini is good at doing, is seeing the other side. That's one thing that I love about Geminis is they're all, they're the twins. A little bit of a split personality, but sometimes we need to see the other side of us. So maybe you might need to go to the other side of you during this new moon. So what I'm going to invite you to do, and what's going to help you really solidify what seed you're planting for this, because it's activated in the throat and it's an air sign, I'm going to invite you to speak out your dreams out loud to yourself on this day, and be open to all the possibilities, or that something greater that you can even imagine that you can call in. Okay. There's a lot of potential with this, but you have to be the one that's open to something bigger. Okay. So that is the first week. That's what's going on the first week. So let's move on to the second week. All right. So we are now talking about Monday, the 19th. So we've entered into a brand new program now for this. And our focus is going to be on love and our heart. Okay. Which this energy is going to play a role in the summer solstice, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So just pay attention to everything I say now to be able to incorporate that on the 21st. So this focus is on the love of humankind in all extremes and deeply connected to the rhythms on this planet. You'll notice that, or maybe you don't notice, and I'm pointing it out to you now for the first time, but the solstices hold the vessel of love energy, if you didn't know, which I am a vessel of love. And I always feel at home during these times of year. And when we get to these programs as well. So you will feel this deep love within your heart. And what will be grounding you is some more love. We need it. We need it right now. After all the stuff we've just gone through, right? We need a little bit more love in our lives. So what's going to be grounding us is the love for yourself. To love yourself and your life to the fullest capacity. And we will move now to talking about the summer solstice, okay? On the 21st. I love the summer solstice. I love all solstices, as I just said, because it's the vessel of love energy. But I am super excited for this day. And because this energy is going to be supporting us, and a good day to connect back to your heart center. Do something that you feel that you're taking care of who you are in your love, and maybe give back to somebody else. This is also about the love of humanity. Maybe it's a good day to give back. Okay. So do a little ritual if you can on this day, connecting to your heart and the love you wish to bring into this world, and also the love you wish to receive. Good time to do maybe a crystal grid. So I might, because I love love, I might decide on this day. So get ready to share a printable crystal grid to our email list if you're on our email list. And if you're not, I highly invite you right now to go down into the show notes in our description and subscribe to our email. We give a lot of goodies in there, so go ahead and subscribe to our email list, because I'm going to help you capture the essence of the summer solstice. As I said, I'm a vessel of love. I've made some crystal grids. Maybe I'll make a new one for this one. I'm not sure, or I'll give you one that I've already made. I'm not sure. I need to sit with it and decide which is the right grid for this summer solstice. And then we can also do a version of that in the cosmic community and share ours, because I love seeing everybody's grids. So, and then let's move on to the next place now. The last big thing happening in the second week that we'll be discussing is the nodes. I'm telling you that. I know this is a lot happening for these 2 weeks. So the nodes are changing gates. Okay. So where was I? The nodes are moving to a new axis with the human design gates. I'll tell you what they are. And if you are also in the cosmic community, then I will encourage you to, before I go there, if you're in the cosmic community, we'll obviously dive deeper on this. But if you're not in the cosmic community, then I encourage you to go look up gate 3, which will be in the north node. Okay. And that gate is called difficulty at the beginning. And so we're going to be releasing part of some sort of stored childhood trauma and some also ancestral trauma to move towards something better and greater, and releasing it so that we can move upwards. Okay. Because this is connected to the north node. It's all about our future. Okay. And where was I? Okay. So for the next few months, we'll be experiencing this and maybe see these past experiences in a new light. That's what this is going to do for us. And then the south node will be releasing some old ways that we weren't properly nurtured with gate 50. Okay, so go ahead and look up gate 3 and gate 50. Maybe you have it in your chart. Maybe you have the other end. Maybe you have the full channel. And we'll dive deep in the cosmic community with this discussion as well. So, the last place we are going to discuss is Sunday. We will enter into a new program with our focus on our root. Okay, so we finally moved out of the throat. Okay, for a moment. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on our root, which makes sense with us also just switching into these new nodes, which officially also I want to say we'll be moving with the next access with the astrological placements in July. So we'll discuss that then. But so let's talk about our focus for Sunday with this new program is going to be on pressure. After all, we have just experienced this next program might be a good time to maybe rest. You know, we've gone through a lot. This next week is going to be about rest. So you might feel a pressure to move, but sometimes we need to stand still in order to know where we're going next. And what will be grounding us and supporting us is going to be another pressure on being useful and potentially maybe a little perfectionism with this particular energy. Maybe something might need to be corrected for you for the following week, and you just might need to stop and see things in a new way in order to do that and really get the fullness out of life. So that's what's going on for the 2 weeks. There's a lot happening. You might want to listen to this a few times. I know Angie just took a million notes. Leah's laughing. One of our cosmic community members. And also you can share them, Angie. I haven't seen your notes in a while. I'm missing them. I need you to weekly, I guess bi-weekly, share those notes. I can't remember if she shared the last one or not, but in the cosmic community. But anyways, that's all I got.
I love seeing Angie's notes because they're like so colorful and inspiring, and
She has her little doodles.
the things that she takes away from it too. Like I'm sure everybody feels this way. Like when you listen to it, you take away something, but it could be different than what somebody else took away from it. So I think that's really cool. So if you do take notes, you can always share with us too. Okay, so I'm going to dive into the cards for these 2 weeks. I pulled a tarot card and an oracle card for each one. So for the week of June 12th, I pulled the King of Wands. And the King of Wands represents looking toward the next step or looking toward the next thing that you're going to pursue. Sometimes because he's kind of in that planning phase. So he's looking to still be a little bit inspired and then take action on things, but he doesn't take action too soon. Like he doesn't take action, just be like we talked about the sacred pause, right? He's waiting for the invitation. He's waiting for the response. He's waiting for the cycle. Or waiting for the urge. So whatever it is that you're here to be waiting for, this is like reminding you that not to take action right away. Instead, he's more like level-headed. He's confident. He knows what his main purpose is, or like a dream or desire that he's working toward. And as the you in this card, it's asking you to just take a moment to look at what projects, what inspirations you have, what things are ahead of you, and choose which one you want to take action toward, which will lead you more toward your version of success, because taking action toward everything is going to lead to more chaos. So this is knowing that you have the ability to take the action, but not to just go for everything because you feel the pressure to go for it. Instead, taking your time to consult your inner authority and your strategy to make that decision. This could also be a time for you to show up as a leader. The king is a leader. So are you being asked to lead in a group? Are you a leader of a group? Are you a boss or a manager? Or are you leading, some sort of community where you're being asked to kind of step up and take the lead? And this could also mean that you are finding that you're seeing success in your business. So maybe it's not about being a leader, but you're seeing growth. You're seeing success happen in your business as a result of your hard work. So that could be also something that you're seeing right now, or that's coming. So just continue to, follow yourself and know that this could be coming for you as well. In relationships, it could mean that things are feeling kind of feisty, fiery. This is also a sign of Leo. So there is, along with things feeling heated and passionate. That passion involves being, with fights. It could be arguments. It also is with romance and love. So maybe you're not getting caught up in the emotions, not getting stuck in that emotional feeling, but allowing those, to communicate using that throat energy that we have coming up here to communicate with other people and your relationships and with yourself. Because this is all about passion. So, and then allowing yourself to, or the other, this could be just you're having a lot of passionate relationships. This could be a really great card for love right now. If you're searching for love or in a relationship with someone, this could build strength to be able to communicate with the other, work through those hardships, see the other side of the relationship, and that can help strengthen those for you as well. So and okay, when you said this, I was like, okay, this is so true. I don't know how I can do this. It's whitewashing it. Okay, it says no. It says wait, postpone, pause, say no. So I'll read from the book. It says you're being called to either pause or say no. Saying yes to something that isn't in alignment with you will drain your energy and your time. Hold out for a congruent and aligned 100% yes. Often, when we're looking for guidance to make a decision, it can be frustrating not to move into clear and considered action. However, timing is everything. And not receiving clear guidance is actually guidance in itself, right? Like when we feel that resistance. So we all go through times known as waiting periods. These are times that are crucial for our body to regenerate the new path to formulate and the universe to begin creating things on your behalf, right? Generators, like Krystle already said, not saying yes to everything, saying no will tell the universe like, okay, they want something better. So you don't need to be plowing forward all the time. And a potent, congruent yes, when the timing is right, will put you ahead leaps and bounds. So don't force things now just because it seems like the only option. Take a breather and wait. The waiting is actually a very productive time for when the time for movement comes, you will be ready to dive right in. Use this time to regenerate and ponder what you truly want. Consider the options. If options are not clear, don't fear because this time is a gift. So use it to tend to your garden, take a rest, to take a moment from your busy life to clear the decks and prepare for the time in the future. For come spring, clarity will bloom and you will have the reserves, space, and drive to say yes and act and move quickly. Holy moly, right? Okay, so let's move into the second week of June 19th. And for this week, I pulled Strength. And this is also a Leo card. So I don't know why all this fire energy is coming up, but here we are.
I think it's probably honestly, and we didn't get to talk about it on here. We've only been talking about it in the cosmic community, is Venus just moved into Leo, and we're gonna have that placement for 4 months because
Totally.
next month we'll talk about it briefly in here because it's going retrograde. That's why we're gonna have it in for so long.
Okay,
That probably is why.
That makes a lot of sense because this is a lot of that energy. Okay, so then for strength represents the ability to be strong and gentle. It's like that, the polarity of it. And you said too, we're coming into that, the polarity of things anyway. So, and that's in all of us. Like we have the ability to be strong and yet also be gentle, which seems so weird to say, but like when you are strong, it's not like, I'm strong, blah, 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 hear me roar. It's more like, I am here to show you the strength that I have within me, but not like force it on anybody else and not take advantage of anybody else. So we see on the card that and again, my lighting is awful. I'm sorry. There she is. Strong. She's strong and she's holding onto the lion, but she's not like, telling it to keep its mouth open. It's just saying, I'm here. I'm safe. You are safe. We're safe together. We're here and we're doing this together, and having the strength to show up for yourself, having the strength to show up for someone else. But having the strength to do that with purity and with kindness and with, I guess I would say like not doing things that are, you're trying to put on a show for somebody. So not so much like the lion tamer, but just like being there as like the strength that you might need or somebody else might need with you. So having the strength to deal with the inner conflict, because that's going to be coming up a lot. And also having the strength to hear your feelings and emotions and expressing them too. Because if you're not expressing those feelings and emotions, that can also lead to sickness. Because you're holding within that, your body, you're holding those emotions in your body somewhere. And that can make you feel sick, right? And if we don't express that, it can lead to a lot of things where you'll be shown, okay, this is something needs to be addressed here. So maybe take a moment in this week to really tap into your body and feel where things are feeling stuck, and take time to sit with that. Take time to sit with your emotions and allow them to show you the way, show you how to be strong for yourself, and where can you use that energy to not really to not stuff down the emotions, stop sweeping them under the rug, but really take responsibility for the way that you feel right now. So if you want to be making changes, if you want to be shifting that energy, you're the one that's in control of that. You're the one that has the ability to make the change. And maybe it's not about oh, I'm really depressed today, I want to be super happy and excited shooting rainbows tomorrow. It's more like I'm not feeling great today. How can I move my body so that I feel better? How can I journal or meditate or or take a walk outside and get out and do something that makes me feel more nourished, and empty out all of those emotions, or empty out your mind, or get out of the circling emotion or circling thoughts that you're having in that time. So again, it's not about making huge shifts, but instead just making small changes, which can help you lead to feeling better. So because this card is in Leo, it also helps give you the courage to face situations as they come up. So, as if things are coming up, when the nodes shift, or if you're feeling like there's people coming back into your life for a reason, then remind yourself that, this is coming up for me to work on, because there's something that still needs to be worked on here. So that's it for the strength card. And then for the affirmation card, my gosh, I don't know how to do this, YouTube, I'm sorry, is Council of Light. And it says divine orchestration and the helpers in the subtle realms. So the Council of Light is a team of benevolent beings who are here to assist the raising of consciousness of the planet. They are here to help you achieve your soul mission, and they are guiding you every step of the way. However, because we live in a world where free will reigns, they cannot help you without your permission. And if you would like their assistance, it's time to ask them. They are here to help you with all kinds of requests. Nothing is too big or too small. So think of them as your personal team of helpers in the spirit realm. They are here and willing and ready to step in and get to work. So what would you like them to help you with? What tasks would you like to delegate to them? The Council of Light is a team of ascended masters, of light beings, angels, and guides devoted to the rising of Earth and all humanity. If you are a light worker, it is from them that you receive your personal mission. Like a spirit world United Nations, they want to thank you so much for doing this work and devoting your life to uplifting the planet. Pray to them for clarity and guidance regarding your personal mission, and put it in your requests and let them get to work. So the activation, and this is a saying, an activation that you can use if you want to tap into them, or if you already have your own ritual that you do, you can use that as well. So it says, Council of Light, I am ready to receive your help for fulfilling my personal dharmic mission. Thank you for guiding me with clarity every step of the way, and for sending me helpers and experiences that delight my mind, body, and soul. And that's all I have.
That's it.
That's it. No big deal.
Also, July, what is it? 22nd. I'm not July. I'm sorry. Excuse me. June.
June.
June 22nd. We are moving into Leo season. So that's probably also why.
It's just getting us ready.
Yeah. Between the Venus in Leo and the Leo season, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what all this Leo energy's about. So yeah, it's time to be bold. I think you got to be bold. You got to speak your truth. Leo is all about the me and shining bright. So how do you want to shine bright for like, for this I mean, I know it's like we're in transition with these 2 weeks of Gemini and Leo, but I think if we're to bring it all together, it's going to be about speaking your truth with Gemini and being bold enough to stand in your authenticity with Leo.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah,
you got this. And nothing super cray, but
we're doing the work. You're doing the work.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. If you're here, you probably are doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
or want to. And
want
maybe this is the invitation to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope you guys have a great 2 weeks. And please look out for some bonus episodes that are coming out. I'm super excited about these. And we will see you over on the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of our podcast on the Human Design and Astro Club. We hope you have found the information insightful and useful. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review and sharing it with your friends and family. We love to hear from our listeners, so feel free to reach out to us with any feedback, questions, or suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.